Hello everybody, welcome back to Parent Vibes. If you're new here in this channel, we share tips, mistakes, and experiences in this parenting journey. If that sounds good to you, consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so you will know every time we upload a video. Today, we will talk about meal times. And if you have ever had a hard time with lunch, with dinner, stay with me because we will share very helpful tips. Before we even start, remember that you are not alone. This is not your baby, this is not you, it's every baby. We all go through this. So with that being said, tip number 1, don't feed a child that can feed themselves. As you know, babies get used to get new habits very quick. So if you accustom them of being fed, they will not feed themselves. And even more important, your child needs to touch the texture, feel the food, and play with it. It's a very important part of learning. It's not just feeding their bellies. Tip number 2, don't bargain for bites. Mealtime is not a negotiation with your child, but it's a time for them to bond with the family, to connect with you, to connect with the food. So don't turn it into a torture and try to keep your reaction as low-key as possible. The more you make a big deal out of it, the least likely they will eat. They will actually reject food even more. Tip number 3, if your baby is not eating, don't run and cook something else because this will most likely create a picky eater. If the baby doesn't want to eat, you maybe wait 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then present the food again. I know that we're all exhausted by the time it's dinner time. We just want to go through the meal, bath time, and put them to bed. So it's hard sometimes to wait. If I can give an advice here, what I do, I always present 3 options, some veggies, some carbs, some protein, and I make sure that one of 3 options is always a safe food, the food that I know for sure that my baby is going to eat. So if that night the baby just eat one thing, that's it. That is it. They're not going to bed with their empty belly, but they self-regulate. They know what they want. So she most likely will wake up very hungry and eat a lot of breakfast. Tip number 4, avoid all distractions. And with this, I mean tablet, screen, TV. I know this is very hard and there is no judgment here because we all been through that. And it might be easy because the baby definitely will start eating in front of a screen because she is distracted. But in the long term, that will backfire you, because the baby will not eat if there is not a screen. And believe me that we experienced that during 2 weeks. Our baby would not eat if we wouldn't put Moana on. And this almost 18-month-old would point at the TV and cry, and we will know exactly what she wanted. Because mothers preoccupy so much, my baby's not eating, my baby's so skinny, so you would do anything for your baby to eat. But then it backfired us, so she wouldn't eat without Moana. So in our case, if your problem is very big, maybe you don't want to do cold turkey, you want to slow down screen time little by little. In our case, we try to distract her with something else. She loves water bottles, so I would give her a different water bottle and she would immediately get distracted. Or she likes to drink from a straw because she sees her dad drinking from a straw, so I would give her the straw and she would magically get distracted and then start eating. So maybe you want to try some tricks like that. But again, screen time in the long term is not only bad because the baby is distracted and not connecting with the food and with you as a family, but also they're not realizing how much they're eating. They're not following their hunger cues. And then if you think about it, happened to us. If we're watching a show or a movie with a box of cookies or a pint of ice cream, we most likely end up eating it all. And that can be a problem when they grow up. Tip number 6. Do not use dessert as a bribe. Babies will associate carrots as a punishment, dessert as a reward, and we don't want to do that. Try to take the power of dessert away from it. What do? We don't offer strictly sugar or dessert to our daughter yet because she's almost 18 months. She's a little yet for that. But some little treats for her, even watermelon is a treat, or maybe some dessert that I prepare with banana, peanut butter, and honey, things like that. So I offer it directly in the meal plate with other 2 options. So maybe she starts from meat, she eat a little bit, and then she goes to the meat, and then she goes to the rice, and then she goes back to it. Sometimes she eat it at last or at first, but it's not a powerful food. Try not to label food as good and as bad, because that again can be a problem into the future. Try to not label the dessert as something that it's so amazing that you can have just now and then, and that it's a bad food, that sugar is bad. We try to label food as food that makes you strong, foods that gives you energy, like bread, pasta, pizza, rice, foods that helps you go to the bathroom, veggies, fibers, and foods that make your mouth happy, which is more the dessert, more the sweets. So try just to present them in a balanced way, because you're an adult, you know better, you know when to present this food, but not say, if you do this, then I'll give you that. Because again, it will create this difference from good and bad in your baby. Try just to take away the power from the sweets. And then lastly, remember, we are all trying our best. I know eat mealtime, it's not easy. Babies go through phases. There are phases that my baby loves broccoli, and times that she just throw it and not even touch it, times that she struggle with protein and meats in general, and times that she eat them as first. So it's just cycles. Try to do your best, as we all do, present every kind of food and then leave it in their hands. And this is all for today's video. I hope you enjoy. I hope you will use some of these tips. And see you next time. Bye.
Okay.